And we're on the air, and we're on the air. We need an opening theme song. The
We do need one.
Crafty Boys
Let's do
are
one.
here. I think we should write one. Copyright infringement. Boom.
Nobody's done that before.
Hey, I have
No,
Okay, here's one.
Crafty Boys, Crafty Boys, Crafty Boys, Crafty Boys, Crafty Boys. Anyway, hi everybody. Our one watcher, whoever you are, I don't know who you are.
We have a watcher?
We love you. Welcome to the latest episode of the Crafty Boys. This is episode 29. I forgot what I called it. I called it the story of something or other, Dave's wiener. Something like that.
Dave has a
Anyway,
wiener?
I know. It's amazing. He's been growing up so quick. I forgot what I called it. Whatever. It doesn't matter. So this is the T-minus 2 days until what, Alan?
Beer Fest.
That's right.
It's like Christmas for us.
Beer Fest 2015. Welcome. We are here to entertain. Dance like the little monkeys we are. Or something like that. I don't know. Improv. So how are you guys? It's been a week. How's it going?
Good.
It's
Yeah,
good.
can't complain. Back to you in the studio.
And I'm hearing that what? Zombies are invading Alan's house. Oh, that's terrible. Well, thank you for that rousing, entertaining recap of your weeks.
I'll be down there in about 2.5 hours, Alan. I've got my kit ready, so.
Your kit? Your anti-zombie kit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, cool.
Did you see that house that this guy had? It was online. This guy actually created a house that could survive a zombie apocalypse.
Oh yeah,
It was like made out of concrete, and it's like there was like concrete patio all around, but it all came up to cover up windows and everything. So it made it like this cement block. He basically lived in a cinder block, and nobody could get in, and nobody could get out either. So basically, he built his own crypt that he would slowly die in while the zombies are around it trying to chip away and get inside. Do you remember seeing that?
Well, I'm sure the guy has frickin' supplies.
But to survive for the rest of his life? I mean, it'd have to be a pretty big cinder block.
Well, the zombies would get bored.
The zombies would
bored?
get bored. Okay, I can see that.
Do zombies get bored? Like, do you ever see them like playing poker or backgammon or parcheesi or tiddlywinks or?
They play for kittens.
I can totally see that. They play for kittens. I want to send you a present, sir. That was one of the best Angel references I have ever. Or sorry, Buffy references.
Angel. Oh.
It was an Angel.
Dress
but
out of fire.
It started in Buffy. They play for kittens. It was Clem. Yes, I know. Clem did it and stuff. So as the Peanut Gallery spoke.
Yay, Peanut Gallery!
Yay, Peanut Gallery. I think I talked about this before. I probably have because I think about it periodically. How I would zombie-proof where I live, and I've always thought that it would be kind of cool to essentially build falling gates with like automatic machine guns and electric fences and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird.
Kind of like an Aliens type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, you got like a little sensor, and it's coming this way. It's 2 feet away from us. Why can't we see it? Yeah.
It's in the room. It's game over, man. Wow, we're focused this week.
Hudson,
Oh wait, we're never like
pull
this.
your
We're
shit
like this all the time.
together.
We're always like this. So anyway, what beer is it this week, Dave?
It is, which you couldn't get apparently. Elysian
No,
Superfuzz.
it was
Blood
not.
or-
Well, it was sort of available, but not, unfortunately.
Ah.
It was only
You
out
mean you would have had to
far.
travel half an hour to get it?
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, screw that. Yeah. So that kind of sucked. But now I'm just looking at zombie-proof houses. Uh,
Well, Dave
Oh,
will be
let's
happy
see.
to know I got the beer.
So-
Nice. Very cool.
what? So explain what the beer is.
The beer it bills itself as a blood orange pale. So it'd be interesting to see if there is any citrus. As we've learned frequently, the flavors are mild if they're there at all. Quite
Okay.
frequently. But you never know. This could be different. I mean, I got this for the label, quite frankly. Grok this. What if the world were an orange, a blood orange, with hop cones orbiting around it, and it's all like an atom? That's literally on the label.
Okay.
And okay, so you got to see this because
It's like the 70s
if you
all
don't get
over.
Jimmy out of this label, you're
Yeah.
blind.
Here, yeah, have them look at mine because I actually have a good internet connection, and I can actually see some detail in it. It looks like Hendrix. Yeah, totally. Which actually makes sense because it's brewed in what, Seattle, and he's from Seattle, so yeah, in Seattle.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, why did I think it was Portland?
Because you
whatever.
were wrong.
Mainly
know-
because
you know, he
I
lived in
actually thought the
Vancouver for a
same
while.
thing. I did think the same thing when I saw the beer. I thought it was from Portland. However, upon further investigation, I discovered that no.
It isn't. Okay, so I just popped the cap on mine and immediately got the smell of citrus. I mean, like strong smell. Like it's
there.
unmistakable.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm going to pop mine. Mine is not the beer for the day. However, it is the Van Dam. Sorry, Van Dam. The Van
That would
Dam
be awesome.
White ISA.
Oh, nice.
It is.
Yeah.
It should be interesting. I'm just going to use the cup I have handy.
Okay, I'm going to do my pour of the Superfuzz.
All right.
Hey, Allie, you want
yeah.
some beer? Yay, beer.
So that looks nice. I mean, it's got a nice sort of like. It looks a little bit on my screen here. It looks a little bit more
It's very
orangey than
orange.
it actually does in the glass. It's got
Yeah,
more of a pale kind of.
Yours looks like neon. Mine is kind of dull.
Yeah.
But he's not living in a basement.
That's true.
He's got better lighting where he is.
Yeah,
That's
my
good.
lighting is kind of.
I'm not getting the citrus taste that I was expecting from the smell that immediately came wafting at me as soon as I popped it open. But it's definitely there. It tastes like a hoppy beer, like an IPA, without the bite. Would you agree, Dave?
Yeah, I would actually. You know what I noticed though was it starts really smooth, like the smoothest I've had, but it switches pretty quickly into all the hops and everything like that. I don't know if it keeps doing that when you've already had a swig, because you might just get the hops, but
I like it. It's good. Now, of course, this coming from the States and everything and being imported, it probably costs a little bit more than some of the domestic stuff that you're going to find. So I don't know if it's worth the extra money. I paid about $8 for this bottle.
Yeah, I think that's about what I paid. Did
Yeah.
you get it from your Cascadia?
No, I got it at BC Liquor.
Oh, well,
That's the only place that it was available. The cold beer wine, it's technically a seasonal, so it's at the end of its run, I gather.
for crying out.
So it's not as available, and that's the reason I had issues is that it's not as available. And what did the guy say? The guy said something about the island has more stock right now. So,
Yeah, well, the island does
interesting.
rock. So
but
That's true.
my Granville Island locally brewed a white ISA.
how is it?
I probably could have picked that up.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
I like your
So-
glass.
Mhm.
I like your glass.
It's
what is that?
It's a water glass.
Oh,
I discovered, unfortunately, that these glasses don't like hot water.
Oh.
Put hot water in once. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna make some tea in this. I put the water and went to throw the tea bag in, and the entire back part's like crack. I was like, ooh, I guess that's not meant for that.
Oh,
So that kind of sucked, but it works for beer.
so I do like this Superfuzz.
that's not bad, eh?
I recommend picking this up. What kind of a environment would you normally use this, drink this with? You think, Dave? Like what
Playing
situations?
guitar.
Playing guitar? Yeah. Yeah.
that's
So if
great.
you're playing guitar in a gig and you're looking
with
for
my fuzz
something to
crank.
get down, I can recommend the Superfuzz to take your game up a notch. Excuse me.
Just like that.
Just like that. Excuse me. It was not professional.
This is not a professional podcast. This is us drinking beer on a Wednesday night.
Absolutely.
So I did find pictures of the zombie-proof house, by the way.
Oh yeah.
The front area, like the main entrance, has a huge rolling gate that comes down.
Mhm.
The upstairs windows all close with like large slabs of concrete on hinges, and the side there's a side entrance that has a large sliding slab of some sort that comes in and closes the whole thing in. I'm actually kind of curious what the real story is to this house. Like, I'm sure this is not somebody with a little too much money building a zombie-proof house. There must be some more to this, which I haven't.
Like maybe he's like a supervillain or something, and it's like his hideout or something where he's trying to take over the
It's
world.
totally possible. Somebody was commenting actually a little while ago when I first saw the house, because there was when this house sort of pictures started flying around the internet, because this is actually quite an old set of photos. There was another house that was a tower. They built a tower, and they had the base of the tower was smaller than the top part. And the thought was that if you had a bunch of zombies coming at you and you kept killing them, that they still wouldn't be able to get up to you if they piled up. But I was doing some math a little while back, which
Just for fun.
well, the one question I saw somebody put this question out on the internet somewhere, and it was about how come zombie apocalypse films and television, why are there so many zombies? Why wouldn't at some point people actually kill off all the zombies? Like all the zombies would go away, even with the newer ones that were generated. And the math is apparently now most zombie apocalypses don't really get into this amount of detail about how many people are actually left, but the the big thing that The Walking Dead, as an example, which is sort of a big popular TV show right now, which has a sequel, or not a sequel, a spin-off has started as well called Fear the Walking Dead. But essentially, the idea in that universe is that there's about 1 to 2% of the population has survived. So if you say, for example, are in the United States of America, there's about 320 million people there. Say nothing to it being connected to South America and Canada as well. So roughly, just within, say, Mexico as well, you've got, say, a good 500 million people in North America that could be zombified. And if you do the math, sort of how many zombies are wiped out in the show, it's actually a very small amount compared to the number of zombies that exist in theory. So that if everybody who had died during the apocalypse outbreak and you reduce the population down to a very small number of people, there's no way that they're going to really kill off a lot of zombies because they're going to get eaten, they're going to only have so many bullets, they're only going to have so many places to hide. So yeah, the reality is that there's going to be a lot of zombies for some time until they all rot away or whatever. Yeah, so there you go. Although the one thing too is that somebody said, but wouldn't they rot within, say, 4 or 5, 6 months? And part of that is that a lot of them are frozen because the winter comes and they stop moving and they freeze, so they're kept fresh or something. Anyway, hey, and look, I have beer. So there you go. So that's my weird nerdy math experience of late.
Nice.
Blah, 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 blah. So I know why I was thinking about that. Yeah, because this tower house, the zombie-proof house, if you killed off a lot of zombies, eventually it would create a ramp up to where you were, where the zombies would just crawl over their dead relatives and eventually eat you. So how the hell? Anyway,
They used that stunt in World War Z.
yeah, they did, because those zombies were like clinging onto each other to try and make towers and things, which is apparently something that a lot of ants do as well, where they basically sacrifice themselves to get, more important ants or something. I wanted to talk about the blood orange and get away from talking about zombies.
Yeah.
However, the blood orange,
Like the fruit, or
the fruit, yeah. So, aside from the beer, have you guys had a blood orange before?
no? Well, I haven't.
Yes. It's been a while.
Describe the flavor.
They're not really that different. Well, I don't know. I guess they don't have, if I remember my flavors at all, they don't have the same kind of edge that a traditional orange does. I think blood oranges are a little bit mellower.
Okay.
Maybe not quite as sweet. And they are, I mean, they're called blood oranges for a reason. Their coloring is very different.
And have you read anything about why they're colored that way?
No, I have not. I know that you are going to fill us in.
Yeah.
I can see it in your face.
Yep, he's prepped for this podcast. And essentially, the blood orange, or Alan, maybe you know.
No, I don't know.
Well, essentially, at some point in the past, the blood orange is a mutation of the run-of-the-mill orange, which are native to not North America, but elsewhere, Europe and such. But essentially, they are, if you take an orange and you take a tangerine and you make love, that's what happens. I mean, it's happened over a long period of time.
They do this?
That's what oranges do. Haven't you ever seen an orange have sex? I mean, come on. They're just like, they don't involve trees or, pollen or anything. It's just straight to the, ramming of the oranges together.
That's your traditional GMO, ladies and gentlemen.
They put a little bit of Barry White and
I just see a bunch of dudes
turn down the lights.
turning on the lights, lighting a few candles, a little, As you said, Barry White on that. That was the worst.
How
Barry
do they
White
do
ever.
different positions?
And they just take the oranges and they have their. I just see them in their white lab coats, like rubbing them together slowly.
They're spheres, so you're in all
Cutting them
positions
down,
simultaneously.
a bit, and then just eventually smashing them to pits, until they've amalgamated.
Amalgamated.
and then they just once they're all smashed, they just slowly come back together to form a new orange. Much like Terminator and Terminator 2. And then you have a more tastier orange. So kids, that's how blood oranges are made. Men in lab coats taking an orange and a tangerine or something darker and just smashing them together until they form a new orange out of what's left.
Also known as the Termin Orange.
The Termin Orange. Terminator 4. Bite of the oranges. Then, of course, they have the killer tomatoes educating them on how to take over. So, trying to remember who was it? Who was the famous actress who died in Attack of the Killer Oranges? Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
I have no idea.
She got hit in the head with a watermelon or something. You know who'd know? Todd. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. That's so sad. I've only watched the Killer Tomatoes. I think the first 3 once through. Although I think the first one I've watched more than once, but I'm not going to admit that out loud.
The internet never forgets, my friend.
This is true. Have you any other comments about the beer? Like I would love to talk more about it, but I'm not having it on my person, so I'm kind of feeling a little out of the loop here.
This is probably good because that would be weird if you were having it on your person. That would just be weird.
Well, that's essentially where I take the beer and I just pour it on myself. Like, hey, let me just try this beer. I'm Batman. Batman can do anything.
Okay, so attempting some seriousness briefly.
Aw, man.
I think this is the most interesting beer that I've had so far.
Wow.
Okay, no. I'm calling bullshit on that because the last time you said that, we were having ginger beer, I think.
Interesting? No, did I say that was interesting?
Okay, you were like, this is the best beer I've
try
ever
the
had in my
Crafty.
life. I love it. I'm going to start.
No,
dating this ginger beer.
I know. I don't think I said interesting. I think interesting is the right word for this one because it totally changes flavors on you. Don't you find that, Alan? It
No.
starts. You don't. Wow.
No.
What can I say? You
But
suck.
I mean, if it does for you, I mean that's fantastic. But otherwise, it just tastes
So,
like
Alan, do you think this is true?
beer
God,
to me.
I think that's the
No.
problem. Because I'm telling you, this thing comes on super smooth like Barry White, and then it turns into fucking Jimi Hendrix just freaking out. That's totally what it is.
All right. Hey, that's awesome.
I think we lost Shane.
This beer comes on strong like Barry White, and then finishes like Hendrix. That's the new title of this episode. Oh my god, brain. The Superfuzz comes on strong like Barry White. and finishes
No, it
like
comes on
Hendrix.
smooth.
Oh, smooth. Sorry. Oh my god, that is brilliant. I
It has a white frothy head.
Oh.
I want to talk to you about how I can turn your beer into love. Oh my god. Stalk is not here to balance us out because we've totally gone off the rails now.
Yeah. Okay, back on the rails.
But who cares? So,
Okay, so
I've totally
this
forgot.
week-
I don't know what I.
All right, let me take it. Let me take it from here. This week, I'm pointing to you. All the new Star Wars toys came out. Now, I don't buy Star Wars toys anymore because I'm an adult.
It's such horse shit.
What kind of excuse is that?
But there was this new toy that came out.
Hey, Alan, if you want to
That was
go and
freaking
grab
awesome.
the boxes of all the Star Wars toys you bought over the years, you could probably fill up your kitchen,
Actually, I could. But
which is not a bad thing.
I want to talk about this BB-8 toy by Sphero. Now, BB-8 is a new droid that's going to be in Star Wars. It was featured in the trailer. It's that one with the ball that rolls with a head on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, this thing is like real. They actually built it, and it functions normally. So this company named Sphero, which I guess has made in the past a robot that rolls that you can control with your smartphone, they've made this BB-8 thing, and it's got a head on it that I guess has a magnet in it, so it always stays on top. Anyway, this thing is like totally cool, and I want one, but it's like $150 US.
I want one too.
Have you seen this, Dave?
I have.
Like, I mean, all it does is just roll around, right? I mean, I imagine you get bored with it pretty quick, but still. And the other thing that I saw, which is super cool, is a drone that's in the shape of the Millennium Falcon.
Oh.
And you can actually fly this thing around. Have you seen this?
Whoa. I
saw the demo video, and it looked pretty cool. It's even got the lights on it, like the engine lights and all that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It does look cool. I watched the that intro video, or like the announcement video. So yeah, I'm fully behind that particular product.
Yes. I'm not big on drones necessarily, because, I mean, there's been stories about them, you know, the people that pilot them being, like, total douches, but if a drone looks like the Millennium Falcon, yeah, I'm totally into that. You know? That's fun. That's good, wholesome fun right there. Yeah.
I mean, I have a hate relationship with drones, but the Millennium Falcon one kind of makes me want to get one anyway.
Yeah.
Mainly because I think drones are.
Don't hate the drones. Hate the drone pilots.
Yeah, exactly. Because when I saw my first drone, it was on the news, and it was somebody flying a drone around in the west end of Vancouver, and they were basically flying out to people's windows and just hovering there for a while and then moving on, kind of thing. So essentially, they were looking into people's windows, which is, you know, usually fine, but I wouldn't want a drone.
It's not usually
It's
fine.
usually fine, because when I fly my drones, that's like all I do. No. It's what I mean by usually fine is it's something you don't expect to. I mean, if you live in a high-rise building, you generally are not going to see somebody staring in your window.
I can see now, like on the 11 o'clock news, they're going to be showing somebody who's been arrested for being a peeping tom with a drone. They're going to say, "The Crafty
I'm
Boys
sure
told me it
happened.
was okay."
I mean, okay, I want to see a drone peeping tom. Yep, there's been a few arrests already. People getting, yeah. Um, I gather in like Kentucky or Tennessee, there has been a people actually are allowed to shoot drones down that are over their property. Um, essentially. So,
That sounds about right.
but
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think so.
you're right. Hate not the technology, just hate the people flying it.
Idiots.
I mean, if you really want to get into drone stuff, I mean, the drones that we're seeing locally don't fly that far. They don't have a huge amount of distance they can cover because the batteries just run out fairly quickly. I mean, there are some that have larger batteries and can fly, of course, more, a bit farther, but ultimately they're pretty limited by where the drone pilot is and the drone itself is. But then you have drones that have guns on them and pepper spray and missiles that blow people up. And that's where I just can't support a lot of the drone stuff. I mean, if you really think about it, the BB-8 toy is kind of a drone in a way. Not necessarily as scary as some other drones can be. I mean, there's been actually people
It's
that
super cute.
oh, it's adorable. But there's been actually drones that have like decapitated people, things like that, because
What?
usually the pilots, because they
I
buy
think
these
those are called
huge,
helicopters.
yeah, no, they buy these large sort of commercial drones, and they generally end up. I mean, the dudes that have been decapitated, of which I've read 2 articles only, so I don't think it's like widespread, but essentially flew these damn things into them by accident and like sliced off, part of their neck and stuff like that and bled out and things like
Jesus.
that. So, because a lot of the drones you see they have protection around the propellers, and then of course you have the sort of larger drones that don't have protection and stuff like that, but are not necessarily they're made of plastic, so they're not really going to kill you. They'll may hurt you, but then you have like these large sort of commercial drones that have metal propellers and things, and so that's where that sort of stuff happens. But again, I mean, it's pretty hard to do that. But essentially, people want to take pictures of themselves and shit like that. So, um, or other people, as we started talking about earlier. But going back to BB-8, I want one, and I know some people that already have them.
Really?
Yeah. Um,
I have a feeling BB-8 is going to be one of those things that if you wait 6 months, you can get it for like $10.
oh, it totally will be. Yeah, because right now, they're $150 or something US.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean it's a toy and it's a very cool toy, but yeah, again, in 6 months, no one's gonna care. Um, yeah, I mean it's gonna be fun. Um,
I wonder though if it'll turn collectible. Give it a few years, kids will destroy theirs. Keep yours
suppose
maybe.
in a
I don't think kids are buying these things.
no, definitely not. Well, I mean, actually, Alan,
but
you
the
have
are.
a lot of Star Wars toys.
I
Um,
do.
but I would say the bulk of them you haven't even opened. Like they're still in
Oh, I
your
haven't really opened any of them, no.
So yeah, I think you're right. I think these will get destroyed by the children that get them as toys, and then there will be people that'll buy 2, one to keep in a box and one not to.
I mean,
Um,
if you do keep one in a box, I would say in 20 years it'll be worth more than what it is now. So the question is how much more. And it's
Yeah.
not enough that it's really going to be worth anything. Like a lot of
what's the
my
most expensive figure you got, for example?
well, I started collecting when when they got the special editions got released, and they started putting out toys again in 1995. So I started recollecting then, and at that time, I was spending about maybe $5 a figure, and I would say most of them are probably worth about $20 each now.
You have a shirtless child running around behind you.
Do I? Maybe even as much as $30. The one that I've got that's worth the most is a when Return of the Jedi was special edition was released. The first 100 people that went through the door of the theater were given an exclusive action figure, and I've got one of those.
Is that the
And
Ghost of Ben one?
no, it's Luke Skywalker in his black robes and
Cool.
yeah, and it says on it it's a theater edition and on the package, and it's kind of cool. What makes that a little bit more collectible is because they were being handed out by theater staff who didn't really care about the collectible nature of them. So quite often, if you got one with like a damaged package or the card was bent or whatever. Trying to find one that was absolutely pristine was actually quite difficult. So the one I've got is not absolutely perfect, but it's pretty darn good. It's got a crease on the on the card a little bit, but it's not bad. Yeah.
So what do you think you're going to do with all these Star Wars toys?
I'm probably gonna sell them.
Eventually, at some point?
Well, I'm thinking fairly soon because, Frank, you're right. I do have a lot. I don't have a lot of room, and I need to downsize. So, and with Episode 7 coming out, now might be the right time.
Just keep them for another 20 years. Then you and I can get naked and play with them.
Oh, we can get naked now.
Oh my god. So Dave, Dave, you got any Star Wars toys?
I know I've got a very small number of figures somewhere, and maybe even one or two in the package. But yeah,
You played with your toys.
well, yeah, we did, but we also didn't have a whole lot of the Star Wars toys. I had a buddy at elementary school who would bring his stuff because he had a few things. The Bespin Cloud Car, for example. But the one that I loved and was always, it was getting him into trouble, actually, because he wasn't even supposed to bring this, was the Millennium Falcon. Which was
I always
freaking.
wanted the
You
Millennium
guys
Falcon.
remember that one, right? That was a huge fucking toy.
It was a huge
Yeah.
toy.
And he would bring that to school. I loved it. I
Oh.
thought it was the coolest thing. Yeah, he would. Anyways, I did not have anything that cool. I had a few figures, and that was, if I remember right, where it stopped. I never had the money to spend on those kind of things, and of course my parents were just like, whatever, who gives a fuck. So we got a few, but very, very few. So it'd be nice if they were worth a couple of bucks, but I don't even know where they are right now.
The ones that you played with are probably not worth anything.
No, there's a couple I think still in the package.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I might have gotten them about the same. No, actually, I did not get them the same time you did. I'm pretty sure they're older. Because I
tell you what, because you're my friend, I'll give you $10 each. Sight unseen. I'm
Deal.
This is a friend thing, right? I mean, I'm just doing you a favor.
What? You know what? Because this is a friend's deal. I will deliver them tonight.
All right. That sounds great.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay,
watch this. He'll have like a vinyl cape Jawa.
Isn't that one of the most expensive ones?
Just so everybody knows, if you find a vinyl cape Jawa mint in the package, that would be what is called a Star Wars 12 back, meaning it's in the original 1977 Star Wars package with 12 figures pictured on the back. It's worth, I think last time I checked, about $4,000.
Holy shit!
What?
Wow.
Because they made so very few of them. Because they ended up changing the vinyl capes, ended up tearing, and they changed them to cloth soon after. So if you find one with a vinyl cape and a 12-back card, big time cash. It's like the most valuable Star Wars figure ever.
Hmm.
And the thing
Rare
is, a
Star
friend of mine,
Wars figure goes up for sale in the UK. Originally sold for £1 back in 1978. Holy cow. Apparently this is a particular run of these that only 2 are known to still exist. Because it was a company that made them out of the UK and they had their license pulled for $24,000.
Oh!
A vinyl cape Jawa. But it's a particular. Just trying to find.
any
It
vinyl
was
cape
British
Jawa from any
manufactured.
country
I
is
gather
worth
it
a
looks like a
big time
company
cash.
made a bunch of them, but it was then, of course, sent to who made the Mattel? Kenner.
Kenner.
Yeah, so Kenner made the ones after this. So these were actually pre-Kenner.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
Anyway, that's interesting.
I've got
So
one
if
of
you
those
ever
right
find
here.
one, hold on to it.
I think I gotta go to like every single day. I'm gonna
The
go
thing
to.
is, my friend, I mean, you talk about your friend Dave that had, cool Star Wars stuff. My friend had some cool Star Wars. I mean, I was like you. I only had a few figures, and I played with them heavily. I still have them. But my friend, he had a ton, including a vinyl cape Jawa. I remember he had a vinyl cape Jawa. Not
Oh.
in the package, played with.
Of course.
It's not worth a thing.
Oh.
No, I mean, yeah, these things in the it's so strange about the whole package thing because there are toys originally,
Yeah.
but now of course they're. I mean, was there also uh, a vinyl cape Darth
Well, they made
Vader?
all the capes in vinyl in the beginning, but because the Jawas were so small.
Yeah, okay. Kind of makes me want to pull my toys out and play.
What?
My
You want to
toys!
pull
My
what?
toys!
What?
God. Said I'm gonna buy a BB-8. Got anything else to say, guys? Because we're just about at time.
No. It's a very good
So your
episode.
final commentary about the beer that I didn't get to enjoy.
It's really good. If you don't like IPAs, but you want to experience a very similar flavor to an IPA, I would recommend this beer, the Superfuzz, from Elysian. You get that sort of citrusy flavor without that kick to your taste buds that you would normally get with a very hoppy beer. Dave.
That, right?
Well, I give it thumbs up, definitely. I would say if you want to experience Barry White transforming into Jimmy, this is your beer.
All right.
Well, thank you again, everybody, for checking us out. If you want to drink the blood orange beer called Superfuzz,
Yeah.
Superfuzz, yep.
get it soon because it's going to be gone for the rest of the year. And I've been drinking the Van Dame White ISA from Granville Island Brewing Company, and it's pretty darn good. It has cheeky hints of guava, citrus, and coriander.
Hmm.
So there you go. Guava. I see.
Wow.
And we'll see you all. Oh, wait a second. Before we leave, Alan, where do people want to find you online? Where, of course, can they look for you?
Well, they can go on Twitter, of course, at Alan M. Ford, and that's it. And then they say what they want to say. But they have to do it in under 170 characters.
140. 140.
Is it 140? Wow. They're cutting back.
Man, you were schooled.
I mean, it used to be like 250 characters, and then it went down to 100. Now it's down to 140? I mean, what else are they going to cut back on? Jerks. You're here to hear. Twitter,
or not
you're
Alan.
jerks.
Dave, where can people find you when they're wanting to find you online if they want to?
I don't know. They'd have to look pretty damn hard. But if
Wow,
you're
that was
so
cr-
inclined, you could dig me up on the Twitters. I'm the Fool. That's the Phule on Twitter, of course.
And you tweeted on May 14th.
Yeah, it's a really,
And you
really
have, hey,
active
dude,
account.
you've got 4 followers.
4?
I know, it's weird.
You've got
They're
somebody
totally
named Adam
random.
Howitt. I'm assuming you know that person.
No.
My sister, myself, and Alan Ford. Whose Twitter account is twitter.com.
Nice.
I was trying to
Yeah,
find something
not
else
speaking
interesting to
about
point out,
you.
but I just can't.
So are we to understand that the Crafty Boys are not following Dave?
Yeah, that's.
We should probably rectify that.
I agree. So I'll get on that, or Alan will get
All
on
right.
that. So there we go. All right. See you all next week after. We'll give you a full rundown of the beers
Well,
that we had.
hey, wait, just a second. Are we doing episode 30 at Beer Fest?
Right. Thank you for reminding me. We are going to be doing an episode of Beer Fest at the Beer Fest. Episode of the Crafty Boys. Hang on, I'm just checking how much alcohol's in here.
So I think we said that we were going to do that around 2-ish.
We're gonna shoot some video at Beer Fest of us talking about the beer that we're having, and then we're gonna put it together and put it up here. It won't be like a traditional one, but it'll be interesting. And then next
All right.
week we'll tell Locke all about it because hopefully he'll be here. Where of course this week he is bouncing around in the bowels of Ontario right before he comes back to Vancouver. I think that's his schedule. I don't know. He's all over the place. But thank you again. Come back, see us next week, and we'll probably post a video on the weekend, I think. I'm thinking probably Sunday. Depends
I don't know.
on
Maybe.
how much we shoot and what exactly we
It depends on
We're a professional group.
how much time we need to recover.
that too. Because I know that by Friday evening, yeah,
Saturday's going to be a write-off.
I think
You know.
so too. It'll be pretty epic.
Yeah.
And I suddenly want to turn into Harry Potter. Don't know why.